Why is the TV still in English? Okay, I don't remember anything. It has been a long time since I last watched Jackson attempt the Sanctuary Challenge, and all I remember was that we found a camera, and now we were probably on our way to make photos of Sanctuary Hills. It's such a nice place. But really though, it has been months. I already watched all the videos. There is no more surprise for me. I even considered making my own Let's Play on the side, maybe on survival, but it takes way too much time. So we are stuck with this one. I'm sorry, it's my fault. It's just so many things happen and it's not important. So this is the most interesting part of the run, maybe, because we get to kill things even though they are bugs, and we get to loot things even though there is practically nothing. Although it's an important part of the run if you don't save, like we do, because if you don't save then you have the stress of if you will find crystal or not. There is around 24 containers I think in Sanctuary Hills, and if you don't find crystal your run is dead. Game over. You return to the start and you have 10 minutes before you can retry. Believe me, it's a nightmare. So there is a whole routine installed, and right now Jackson is trying to hack that computer, but she doesn't want to waste time on the puzzle, so she's just brute forcing her way. It's fine, Jackson doesn't like to waste time. I'm not even sure why she accepted the challenge in the first place. Most of it is just waiting. But when I chose to make the challenge, it was like taking a nap. I will enjoy the scenery, explore, make my life, decorate my house. But Jackson, she takes it as a challenge really, so she is trying to optimize everything. Why does she do that? She has all the time in the world, but no, she needs to kill the bugs as fast as possible, even though she gets hit, and that must hurt. Why does she do that? Sydney probably doesn't like that. Why would she rush into a house full of flying bugs? I don't get it. It's not a nice way to play. Plus, most of the containers are empty, so you are often disappointed, like in real life. And actually, the containers can have useful stuff like a blouse or a chapka. Those raise your intelligence, and you might level up faster, glad to that. Or maybe you can find more hot plates and stuff. Those give you circuitry, and that might help you build more turrets or water purifiers. It might help fasten things a bit. Also, she's running into more flies. Great. I'm pretty sure Sydney as a space pilot would handle things differently. I handled things differently. I will sneak up behind them with a baton and hit them in sneaky mode. That's the way I do everything. But that's because I don't like to waste ammo, and Jackson doesn't really care. And sadly she's right. She's always right, I'm always wrong. I'm sorry. Me and her, we don't play the same way. I mostly want to make Sanctuary Hills a nice place again, and she just wants to win. I suppose that's the difference between a casual and a real player. I'm not sure why she kept my strategies anyway. She probably didn't. I'm sorry. Anyway, she's in the cave now. That's the place where people would usually save to find crystal. The thing we did at the vault. Maybe it's faster here, I don't know, but I prefer it at the vault because, as I said, it's when you leave the vault that most of the containers are decided. The content, I mean. So, it can change the run in slight ways. I think it's better to do it then. Plus it's an automatic save, it exists even in survival. I remember the first time I attempted the challenge, I wanted to make this place my home. I don't know what I had in mind that time. It's an ugly place, but I probably thought there is a bed, so okay. And it's a shelter, so it must be away from all the threats. And then I remembered there were loaded times, so I quickly gave up. Also, this bag, before Jackson showed it to me, I didn't know it even existed. But that's okay. Honestly, most of the containers never contain crystal anyway, so if you do a run without any save, it mostly doesn't change anything. I don't know why we bother, really. It's like the whole strategy thus far was to avoid Tito as long as possible, but it doesn't change much anyway, so... The first time I watched the video, I wanted Sydney to have a funny conversation with Tito, but it doesn't matter anymore. Everything is lost. Anyway, it went something like, "Hello Tito, what are you doing here?" And Tito was like, "I'm watering your flowers. I'm not doing a very good job at it, but give me 300 more years and I promise I'll make them glow or something. Also, please become a goal in between, because if not, you will be dead and you won't be able to witness the result." And Sydney was like, "I don't know. Becoming a goal is a big step in life. And is it detrimental to piloting rockets? Plus, it makes cleaning houses harder, really. Girls don't want to talk about that, but it's a big problem." And then it dawned on Sydney that Tito could be lying to her. Did he have a space rocket hidden somewhere? He would tell her, right? But instead he was watering flowers? That didn't make any sense. She made a memo to keep an eye on him. Sydney has a long and tragic backstory. It all comes from my first Let's Play where, let's say, things didn't go as planned. So she became a little suspicious of the entire world. It's natural. Everybody will do the same in her situation. And it also helps with morale because, to be honest, it takes more than a hot plate and a camera to start civilization. And I think she learned that the hard way. Anyway, the scavenging is almost done. All Jackson really wanted was the copper in the street lamps, and maybe some ceramic. She just wants to build the radio beacon to get started, and of course a small generator to power it. And you know, before the Sanctuary Challenge, I never really cared about those generators, because I would never build them, but during the challenge I built like 30 of them or more, and I began to wonder how they are powered. Because, of course, you think it's oil, and it's suggested it's oil, it's always oil in every game, but we don't have oil, and we don't have really many resources around, and this whole world is nuclear powered based, so it would make sense if they were nuclear too. I thought maybe it's hydrogen, and that's why they can release steam. I don't know. Ray could explain it better, I guess. She's the one who went to school, kinda, before she dropped. I mean, I went to school, but not that kind of school, so I have no expertise. I bet if we asked Ray, she would say it's the power of love or something. It doesn't matter. We are almost done with the setup, because as of now, the hunt hasn't really started. It doesn't really start until the first settlers arrive. You cannot really do anything until then, so Jackson is just waiting, doing minor tasks like picking up crops or scavenging, waiting for the counter to "here we go." No, she just has to wait for the settlers. Find them, because they haven't spawned yet, actually. And usually they will spawn in front of that house, but not the first time. The first time it's random, so she's resorting to this ghost strat. That's treating you settlers like cows. Brahmin, it's Fallout, I'm sorry. Everything is Brahmin. Actually, you can get a Brahmin, so I think it's fair to differentiate the two. We'll say cows are the one you can give tasks to. Meanwhile, Brahmin cannot get assigned to tasks. So everything is fine. Your settlers are cows. Jackson cannot find the settlers, and I don't know what to say. And there will be long stretches of time like that, where actually Jackson won't do anything at all. It's the Sanctuary Challenge. The challenge is to comment it, really, and I'm not good at that. I apologize in advance, it will be a slaughter. Also, she's checking every side of the town because there are 3 spawn points. One is a path leading to the vault, one is in the back in the forest, and one is at the bridge where they are coming. I think it should be obvious for anyone on how this encounter will go, because it's Sydney we're talking about. She's not really good with relations, so she's trying to explain to them how the town works, but the town doesn't really work, and only one of them wants to wear nice clothes. There's a lot of bickering and misunderstanding. She's trying to compromise to her best. She's telling him, no, you can't do that. You need to go on that side of town, but he doesn't want to go there, and meanwhile the other guy is going towards her bed, so everything is a mess, and she's thinking, okay, it's time to resort to more compelling arguments. Everything will be simpler that way. And that's how you start a society in Fallout. Every town you visited, that's how it began. But right now Sydney isn't really thinking about that. She feels a bit tired, so she's thinking, I'll go to bed and sleep on my crimes. It will be fine. Good night, Sydney.